Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. A year after advocating the eradication of Sanatan Dharma, Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister Udhayanidhi Stalin continues to remain defiant. He's espoused yet again that he would want to annihilate what is at the heart of the very way of our life in our country, that is the Hindu way of life, Sanatan Dharma, the ethos of millennia-old civilization of Bharat. In 2023, the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu called for Sanatan Dharma's eradication, equating it to malaria and dengue. Even despite the Supreme Court's rap to Udhayanidhi, where he was warned of the consequences of his utterances, he believes in not saying sorry for insulting Bharat's oldest Dharma. Speaking at an event on Monday, Udhayanidhi stated that he echoed the views of leaders who follow E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar or Periyar. Women were not allowed to study, they were unable to leave their homes, and if their husbands died, they would have to die as well. Tandai Periyar spoke against all of this, and he was echoing what Periyar, Anna and Kalainar had said. This is what Udhayanidhi stated. And the other thing that he turned around and says, I don't care what the courts have said, they have filed various cases against me. I am the grandson of Kalainar and I will not apologize. That's what he said. Now, earlier in September this year, Sanatan symbol was assaulted in Tamil Nadu. A miner's sacred thread or Janeu or Yagnopavita was sniped by motorcycle-bound men in Tirunelveli in Tamil Nadu while he was walking towards a bhajan event. Meanwhile, a deliberate attempt to single out and target Sanatan symbols in Tamil Nadu was afoot earlier this year in June with a controversial move by Justice Chandru, a retired Madras High Court judge, proposing no tilak rings and similar caste markers in schools. Hindu symbols and practices were once again targeted under the guise of social justice reforms. Critics have lambasted Tamil Nadu government's approach for this anti-Sanatan bias to thrive in the southern state. The DMK sign, time and again, standing by this divisive mindset of targeting only Sanatan Dharma, the very essence of the Hindu faith. Now, is this the core of the E.V. Ramaswamy-driven philosophy to call and endorse the eradication of an egalitarian faith, that is Sanatan Dharma or Sanatan Pratha? Is this truly a quest of equality for all or just a carefully crafted devious anti-Hindu plank, we ask? Can DMK's INDI alliance partners who uphold Mohabbat ki Dukaan support this communal mindset? Let's go across to our guest this evening and open up the debate. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, political commentator, scientist joining us this evening. Pulla Rao, political analyst joining us. Vinod P. Selvam, BJP leader in Tamil Nadu with us. Namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Vinod P. Selvam. Sanatan Dharma, we are only now, this is the justification that's come from the DMK, and I want your thoughts there. They say that Sanatan Dharma has certain inequalities or unequal practices like caste, etc. We are only fighting against this. The discrimination that happens in Sanatan Pratha, Sanatan Dharma, that's what needs to be eradicated. The rest is all misinterpretation and hyperbole by the opposition. How would you want to respond to that?
Firstly, I would like to open my comments by speaking about what the scion of the DMK family has spoken yesterday at a wedding. Of course, the script which was given to him by someone, not understanding the entire theory behind Sanatan Dharma. He has been talking about eradication and he's taken inspiration from Ivera and the late Chief Minister Karunanidhi. I first need to understand if Udhayanidhi Stalin endorses the ideology of Ivera. Now, 2 days back, there was a big ruckus in Tamil Nadu over a certain word being missed out while singing the Tamil Thai Valthu. Now, Ivera is the man who said Tamil Thai Valthu should even be eradicated. He was the man who said Tamil is a Katumirandi language, which means it's the language of the savages. So, is this the man he wants to take inspiration from? He is the man who married his own adopted daughter. Back in the days, it was okay, but today, if he is going to take inspiration, try doing that, he's going to be behind bars. Now, that's the kind of person they're trying to equate and justify and say Ivera and Karunanidhi spoke that I'm speaking the same. They should understand one thing. Back in the day when Ivera and Karunanidhi were speaking such stuff, the Congress was in power at the center. But today, under Narendra Modi, we have a very strong government of the BJP, which is not letting any political party for the minor gains of getting the minority appeasement votes attack the faith of crores of Hindus across the world, which the DMK has been doing time and about. They will be taught a lesson, and clearly the prince of DMK is very confused about what he is trying to even attack. I would like him to come and debate on what Sanatan Dharma and what it actually preaches. He needs a real lesson to be taught to him. Maybe Anand Ranganathan sir can take class for him one day and make him understand what Sanatan Dharma means.
Well, he himself is a proclaimed and self-proclaimed Darwinian atheist. So for him to go and explain Sanatan Dharma to Udhayanidhi Stalin, well, that will be an interesting conversation. But Pulla Rauji, why is the DMK doing what it is doing, especially Udhayanidhi Stalin?
Let me just talk as an observer. I'm neither authorized by them or anyone. I've observed one thing, what you have said. You know, September 2023, Udhayanidhi Stalin said something and it was not found tasteful and the Supreme Court said something. Since then, I don't think he has gone back to such words. Unless it's a fashion to go back and dredge things back and then bring it forward, dredge things up. It is irrelevant. He has said that I was misinterpreted. I go for the negative parts of Sanatan Dharma and against caste, women's rights. And these have been, as you very well know, and other two friends also know, since 1920, over 100 years. These issues are going on in Tamil Nadu. It's not a new issue. The Justice Party was formed on the basis of this. Then it became DK, then it became DMK, etc., etc. Therefore, he has said, I've been misinterpreted. Can't you accept that? Can't you accept that he says I've been misinterpreted? I've gone on to these negative aspects and I'm saying this. I think that's a good point to start with. Unless, you want to say
I am Kalaigner's grandson and I will not apologize. We should accept that also.
Obviously, you see, he probably meant that, I did nothing wrong, I won't apologize. I am Kalaigner's grandson, I'm a great man's grandson, and I did nothing wrong. He
didn't say I didn't do anything wrong. He said I'm a great man's grandson and I will not apologize.
I've been misinterpreted. Sir, I have been misinterpreted. That's the exact quotation.
No, so let him say that to the courts that I have been misinterpreted. He said I don't care what the courts have to say to me, I will not apologize.
A lot of cases have been, sorry to interrupt you, a lot of cases have been put against me on false grounds. That also he said. And he says, they have foisted all kinds of
So cases. He didn't say that Sanatan Dharma is like malaria and dengue and it needs to be eradicated.
No,
he never said that.
From what he said, I meant the aspects, from what he said yesterday or today, he said I've been misinterpreted.
So there is there is no other faith or any other way of life in Tamil Nadu which is discriminatory and elitist. There is elitism there.
No, must be there. There are lots of them.
So, but why does not hurt 40%? 40% of the Christians in Tamil Nadu are Dalits and they have separate churches. They are not allowed into the other churches. So there is no discrimination.
Separate graveyards.
There is so there is no discrimination. That is not discriminatory. That is not discriminatory. He never says anything about Christianity, which is supposed to look at everybody equally. But then why are they called Dalits? They are converted with the fact that they will be treated as equals, and there is a separate branding called Dalit Christians. Why?
There's an ample.
So why hasn't he ever spoken about it? That is not malaria and dengue. That's not an evil. That's not an ill in society.
That's his choice.
No. Now suddenly it becomes choice, Mr. Pularao. How is it that is not seen? Are Shias allowed into Sunni mosques, sir? Are women allowed into mosques in Tamil Nadu? That's not discriminatory. Where is equality there? Where is equality there? That's not discriminatory. That's not discriminatory. That's not discriminatory.
Absolutely.
That's not discriminatory.
There is a state. There is a subject. Somebody can raise it. Nobody stops anybody from raising it. What you have said are valid.
So when DMK leaders come out and threaten just 4% of the total population in Tamil Nadu, that is Brahmins, that's not discriminatory.
No, absolutely. What you say, that is their choice.
So why does the cat catch everybody's tongue there? Or is this a deliberate agenda? A deliberate agenda to deliberately show down Hinduism because this is what they think will get them votes.
That time will tell. And if you say get them votes, they won all 39 seats there. I mean, I didn't make them win.
I don't want to get into the numbers.
People of Tamil Nadu voted for them.
Vinod P. Selvam? Vinod P. Selvam?
See, the practice of discrimination has to first be eradicated within the DMK. A simple question to them. Through A. Raja, who hails from the Perambalur Parliament constituency, is not allowed to contest from his own constituency because it's a general seat. He's been asked to go all the way to Nilgiris and contest there because that's a reserved seat. So the discrimination starts from within the party. The day the
No,
DMK is able to...
but he's a baptized Christian, sir. How is he contesting from a reserved seat?
He's a self-proclaimed Christian, but on record he still maintains to be a scheduled caste person. So for the sake of reservation, these people, take this double-faced approach, and that is what most people in the DMK have been doing.
So where is caste eradicated here, Pula Rauji?
Yes, there is a committee appointed by Mr. Narendra Modi with that chief
No.
justice from Kerala.
What is Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin doing about Andimuthu Raja? Why are you going to Narendra Modi?
Let me just remind you, just now KG Balakrishnan, I don't know what kind of report he is going to bring out.
Why are you shifting the goalpost? Why is Udhayanidhi Stalin not telling Andimuthu Raja, I don't believe in all of this caste. You contest from your own place as a Christian.
No, I
from the general category.
What I observe, those are his words. And
Hi,
I just said
sir,
to what Mr. Selvam, my friend, said, KG Balakrishnan is now going into
sir,
the whole issue.
even with a horse with blinders can see both sides of the road, at least in front of it. You can't say that I can see only from my right eye, the left eye is left to perception.
I am seeing all sides, up and down also, and I'm only pointing out. And I must say, I would like you to tell me about KG Balakrishnan. What's he doing with that huge report he has already produced? What's he going to say? He'll answer Mr. Selvam. He'll answer everybody.
No, the point is, sir, in our country, this entire nomination denies a colonial aspect that casteism or elitism happens only within the Hindu way of life or the Sanatan Pratha. Casteism, elitism happen even with Muslims. It happens even with Christians. It happens even in other religious denominations. So why make only this a political plank? That's the question. Dr. Ranganathan, thank you for your patience.
Not at all. No, good evening, Anand, and good evening to my fellow panelists. It's been a wonderful discussion. Both panelists have brought out excellent points. I'd just like to say a few more things, I think, to add to the discussion, possibly on the philosophical level. Because let's be honest out here. Udhayanidhi Stalin was unambiguous about his statement. It wasn't that he was saying on the dais that some aspects of Sanatan Dharma are problematic and should be eradicated. He compared Sanatan Dharma, he wanted to eradicate it, compared it with diseases. He was completely silent, even backed his minister Raja, who said Hinduism is a menace around the world. So, for him to say now, and he hasn't actually said it, I haven't heard him say that he's been misinterpreted. He meant some aspects of Sanatan Dharma, not entire. He's never said this. But I am with him on this. You know why? I don't want him to apologize. Because the Indian state, Anand, is cowardly and weak. All its arms. And Udhayanidhi Stalin knows this. Was it the fault of Warren Anderson to not apologize? No. Who let him out? So, likewise, Udhayanidhi Stalin's let's wait and see remark a few weeks ago is more perceptive than it is ominous. He knows the truth. I am with him. He knows that we aren't even thinking of dismantling the constitutional apartheid against Hindus through the many acts, articles, judgments. He knows that the truth is India is emblematic of the hypocrisy, virtue signaling, cowardly stance and double standards of each, and I use my words very carefully, each of our 4 pillars of democracy, including especially the judiciary. Let me address them very briefly. I might not have time to address all of those, but at least a few in the beginning. Hypocrisy. Anand, if you ask me the textbook definition of a banana republic, I would say that it is a republic where the Supreme Court stays silent on blatant violation of its own order. It has been more than a year since Udhayanidhi Stalin wanted to eradicate Sanatan Dharma. A year since the Tamil Nadu government has been in direct contempt of the Supreme Court order of 2023 that said that states should immediately file cases in instances of hate speech. And yet, nothing has been done either by the state or the Supreme Court. I can only infer that eradication of Hinduism, comparing it to dreadful incurable diseases, calling it a menace upon the world, is not construed as a hate speech by the Supreme Court. In which case, it begs the question, why did it then so ruthlessly come down on Nupur Sharma for merely quoting Islamic scriptures and infer that to be hate speech? If that is not hypocrisy and double standards, I don't know what is. And number two, the cowardly stance. There already is an ideology that specifically and unambiguously directs its followers to kill, maim, and convert non-believers and all those who profess other ideologies. But does the court have the courage to ban this ideology? And finally, it is not enough that we merely oppose Judaism. We should eradicate Judaism like we eradicate malaria and corona, unquote. Now I ask, just 30 seconds, is this statement not anti-Semitic? In fact, Anand, you will be arrested in 16 nations for saying this.
Yes.
But now replace Judaism with Sanatan Dharma, and you not only escape arrest, you celebrate the bigotry, and you say, I have nothing to apologize for, and everyone is absolutely silent. But then again, I repeat, I am with Udhayanidhi Stalin on this. I back him 100%.
Vinod P. Selvam, the state is weak. All its arms are weak. They have failed in protecting Sanatan and the Sanatan ethos of our country, and also what is reflected in our constitution. The original one I'm talking about, not the morphed and.
So yesterday's speech of Udhayanidhi Stalin, he made it echo like the constitution is based on what Evera and Karunanidhi had spoken. He had spoken about how Sanatan Dharma has reduced the role of women in the society, how it's demeaned them. But, if DMK is really concerned about the progress of women, what they should be doing is they should be handing over the leadership of their party to Karunanidhi's daughter, Ms. Kanimoli. Isn't she a capable leader? Why isn't she not being made the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu? Why isn't she being made the President of the DMK? Now, that is the first step in making sure that progressive politics happens first within the DMK before you start talking about Sanatan Dharma. So I think, he's very misinformed about what he is trying to communicate to people or whatever has been written to him. I really think he needs to understand before coming out and speaking. And I agree with whatever is being spoken. Unfortunately, the law and order is with the DMK. And I never know, I might just be arrested for speaking all this on your channel today by coming up with some random case tomorrow when it's been happening so often in Tamil Nadu. It is not new to us, and right now we've been having this over again. Any tweet, any speech, anything spoken is being taken out against us, but that is not going to deter our spirit. We are going to stand by the majority of this country, and we are not going to let anyone try and erase or eradicate or speak about Sanatan Dharma.
Yes, Pularav.
If you are,
I just heard our learned Mr. Ranganathan say why they haven't registered a hate case. There is no hate law. I have not only said this here, I've said it everywhere. This government has been in power 10 years. They could have brought out a hate law covering everything. There is no hate law. How do they register and the cases don't go forward? And unless you have a hate law, anti-hate law, whatever it is, you can't do anything. Those cases are not worth the paper they are registered on. So that's one of the aspects you have to keep in mind.
I'm afraid, Mr. Rao, that's not... Anand, can I come in?
Yeah, please respond.
Yeah, thank you. That's not entirely true. You don't need a hate law. In fact, I have long argued that as a Darwinian atheist and a free speech absolutist, I am against prosecution of hate speech. So that's another way. But till such time, the Supreme Court has upheld criminal defamation for hate speech. So it, of course, construes some speech as hate speech and some not as hate speech. So it is there to decide. Question is, it's being selective. It decides on some matters, sends people to jail, doesn't decide on this matter, overturning its or ignoring its own judgment. But I want to end with one quote, which would be very perceptive. Now you have Congress in alliance and buddy-buddy with DMK. Quote, whatever Periyar says can only be said by a criminal or a lunatic. Do not delay in dealing with this matter. Let him be put in a lunatic asylum and his perverted mind treated there, unquote. Do you know who said this? Jawaharlal Nehru to K. Kamraj on November 5, 1957.
There you go again, dredging. I said don't go dredging, go forward, move forward.
Udhayanidhi Stalin, with all due respect, can keep going dredging, keep dredging.
Is he not dredging?
This DMK leader by the name of Rajiv Gandhi can go and keep dredging. They can keep dredging, but the rest should move forward.
I like the word dredging. I love dredging. Mr. Rao, come on.
You see, some people, some people, even learned people, like to go back to those dark spaces and keep bridging. I don't think that works in this democracy where we were 145 crore people.
So, is that your
hundreds
message
of
to Udhayanidhi
languages.
Stalin?
No, I'm telling you, you have to move forward. He has moved
So,
forward. I'm only observing
is that your message to Udhayanidhi Stalin, or are you saying he's not one of the learned people?
No, I believe that. I observe. I'm not an authorized representative. He has not said anything from September 2023. He has moved forward.
Has he moved forward? What did he say at the wedding last evening? You know, the wedding of the kin of a Mr. Andy Ambalam.
No, he said I targeted the evils, which I also agree with, casteism, all these other things, which we all feel.
No, but
that why
name it? Why call it Sanatan Dharma? Why broad brush it under Sanatan Dharma, Mr. Pularao?
You see, there is something
he should say that divisive differences within society need to be done away with. Then let them say that there will be no SC, ST and no reserved seats. All candidates will be treated as same. There will be no caste quota that we will ask for. Let the DMK take a position on the entire caste census. Let them say we don't want caste census, we don't believe in it. Will the DMK say it?
That is not contemporary politics.
That is today's politics, sir. Their own alliance partner is demanding it. The leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha is demanding a caste census, saying jiski jitni sankhya bhari. No, so I am asking, is the DMK saying is the DMK saying that no, they don't agree with Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party? Let the DMK take that position then. Otherwise, they are hypocrites.
Oh, obviously, the leader of the opposition has kept quiet on that. It must have been at an easy moment in Maryland or wherever he was, he said it. Then he came back to India, reality hit him and he is now real.
So, are you trying to say that Mr. Rahul Gandhi no longer wants the caste census? Is that what you are saying, Mr. Pularao? Or are you saying that the DMK is okay if the Congress wants caste census? That's not divisive, but the DMK is not okay with Sanatan Dharma because that believes in caste.
You're going back to the very definition of the Constitution.
No, I'm not. The Constitution
has brought forward caste.
No,
Constitution has brought forward caste. You didn't hide it. It is there.
No, but the Congress and the DMK push for amendments of the Constitution and they changed. So let them demand it. Let them say that we don't believe in caste. We don't want any caste census. We don't want any reserved seats. We don't believe in SC, ST quota. Andimuthu Raja will no longer fight from Nilgiri. He'll fight from the general quota only as a Christian. Not in any minority quota or reserved quota.
I think, again, now you should dredge back the Pune
No. I'm asking you, Vinod P. Selvan, then is this not a hypocritic position? On the one hand, they say we want to fight caste. On the other hand, they are saying we'll back caste census.
Of course. So, the DMK and all their allies. So, convenience matters for them. So, whatever suits their narrative the best. So, they take that up narrative at that point of a time. And right now, caste census works for them in some states, and in some states, Sanatan Dharma seems to be disrupting the unity of Hindus. Now, when did you ever care about the Hindus? Your party is now is in Tamil Nadu has been reduced to a minority party, and the entire agenda of the DMK is to make sure that they appease the minorities. And for that sense, you've been targeting the Hindus. The temples are getting lost. I mean, the lands of temples are being looted, and the issues have been going on over and over again. And now you again come out and time and about. So whenever there is a controversy happening, as in when the DMK is having a downfall, they bring up two things. One is Hindi imposition. Second is Sanatan Dharma. So they bring these two things, divert the attention from the current state basis.
It's a simple point, Dr. Ranganathan. Why is Mr. A. Raja fighting in the reserve category if he's proclaimed himself a Christian? So then he's a Christian but still believes in the caste quota because that's convenient for him. One. Secondly, will the DMK then say we don't want caste census? We will not allow it in Tamil Nadu and we don't want to park any party that wants to play caste politics?
No, Anand, look, couple of points out here. What you're saying is absolutely true. But then that's the case with DMK and hypocrisy. Every step that the current dispensation in DMK has taken is negating its earlier stands. Do I need to even mention about the one nation, one poll? Mr. Karunanidhi was supportive of it. In fact, 2009, if you go and look back, he was for one nation, one poll. And now, who is opposing it? It is the DMK. It was Mr. Karunanidhi who said terrorists should never be let out. Was it not? And who is the one, which party let out the Coimbatore bombers despite the Supreme Court denying them bail and saying that they killed 58 innocent men, women and children. They don't deserve even to have bail. And they were let out. And it's not just that they were let out by the DMK. Anand, look at the pretext on which they were let out. They were saying, let no one say that we are against Muslim community. This was the pretext under which they let out terrorists.
That is open appeasement and vote bank politics. If not, what else? Well, gentlemen, I've got to pause there. We'll have to wait and watch. Let the people of Tamil Nadu decide. Call out this hypocrisy if they can by the power of the ballot. And that's where they have to say, do they really identify with those who want to eradicate Sanatan, or do they identify with the core Bharatiya value that is entrenched in the principles of Sanatan? We're going to take a very short break. Stay with us. When we come back, it's the latest from the BRICS summit where Bharat sent out a message loud and clear. It's Bharat first, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Those who are trying to bait Bharat in the West, are they watching? Stay with us.
This Diwali,
we want to shift our attention now to how the Indian Airlines continue to grapple with a wave of bomb hoax threats for the 6th consecutive day today, disrupting flight schedules and causing a lot of inconvenience during this busy festive travel season. Today, 20 flights of Air India, Vistara, Indigo have received hoax calls over the last 24 hours. In fact, Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu has said that the ministry is looking at an amendment to the Suppression of Unlawful Acts Against Safety of Civil Aviation Act to enable law enforcement agencies to invoke this law against people who make these hoax bomb threats about aircrafts at the airport. Now, he also said that the ministry was in the process of amending the rules to put people who are caught for making these calls on the no-fly list. That big announcement came in from the Civil Aviation Minister yesterday. We listen in first up.
Since the first day when it has been happening, and this is a process that we follow every time. Whenever there is a bomb threat case happening, or if it is through a call, or if it is through social media, or if it is through some other means, we have a strict protocol that we follow. Because for us, like I said, safety and security is the foremost aspect, and this we follow through the international guidelines itself. We have had multiple meetings. In the last 1 week, I have chaired certain meetings with all the necessary stakeholders within the ministry, and from the ministry we have thought of some legislative action also if it is required, which direction should be moved in. And we have come to the conclusion that there are 2 areas that we can explore. One.
All right, let's quickly go across to our guest joining us this afternoon. This is aviation expert Sanjay Lazar joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Sanjay, appreciate you taking out your time. Thank you for speaking to us here on CNN News 18. Mr. Sanjay, if you can put in perspective, all that you've heard and seen so far. Over 70 plus flights have received these hoax bomb threats in just the last 2 weeks. That's become a daily affair and causing a lot of nuisance, not just to the passengers. Of course, they're at the receiving end of a lot of inconvenience, delay, so on and so forth. Makes it worse in an emergency situation. But also for the airlines, the operational costs also keep getting added up. So tell us a little bit about what you make of this entire menace that keeps coming to the fore on a daily basis now.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you for having me on your show. It's the 7th day, if I'm not mistaken, and to my count, I think we've already crossed 100. I maybe give or take a couple here. If you're saying we've had more than 20 today, it's highlighted a lot of things. Right from day one, a week ago, I've been on various media, and whether it's social media or writing or speaking on TV, that I think we've lacked a proactive response. The Ministry of Home Affairs should have been involved instantly. We kept dabbling, and then, of course, we, got lost. We said first it was pranksters. Then we said, maybe somebody from inside. Now we find that they're being spoofed, and the VPNs are coming from Germany and the UK. This is something more serious. This is a very concerted effort to undermine India, its security, and make a fool of our cyber security premises, our aviation security. I do believe that given the multiplicity of agencies, and this is what I've said consistently over a week, you've got the Ministry of Home Affairs, you've got the Ministry of External Affairs involved, you've got the DIT, you've got the MOCA, that's the civil aviation, you've got the DGCA, the BCAS, the CISF, a number of, we should have had a national federal agency like CBI or NIA or NSA, so, looking into this, or IB or RAW, under the Ministry of Home Affairs. And we should have had a team, or the military intelligence. Any one of these agencies would have worked concertedly. Now, I think they're getting their act together and trying to do it. I believe BKS DG had a meeting yesterday or the day before yesterday with all the CEOs. But I believe it's still short. We need to bring in all these social media companies, bring them on and make them cooperate with us. I think a lot of steps need to be taken. The minister wants to change the law and tweak the law, I understand. But as per my, knowledge, there are adequate laws to deal with the punishments. I, for one, am not in favor of this flight ban and no-fly list. I think put them in jail. No-fly is a given, no-fly for life. Not 5 years, 2 years, 1 year. But I believe jail and,
But they're also mulling at, life imprisonment through this kind of a legislative action. So that's what you're also reiterating in a sense.
Well, actually, Christy, what I'd like to tell you is Section 3 of the Suppression of Unlawful Acts Against Aircraft 1982 prescribes life imprisonment already. Section 3 says anyone who makes a threat to an airport or an aircraft has
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Kazan city of Russia to participate in the 16th BRICS summit. As the summit kicks off, all eyes are on a possible meeting between PM Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping. This is the first summit that will be taking place after the first ever expansion of BRICS in January earlier this year. PM Narendra Modi has also received a warm welcome by the Indian diaspora upon arrival at the Hotel Costin earlier in the day. After the Prime Minister reached the hotel, members of the Indian diaspora holding the tricolour greeted him, chanted slogans and also sang a cheerful welcome song in Sanskrit for him. PM was accorded a grand welcome where he was welcomed with dhols, dances and bhajans. President Vladimir Putin welcomed Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the 16th BRICS summit. He reiterated how Bharat and Russia's projects are constantly developing. He also stated that both nations' cooperation will benefit from the policies of Bharat. Welcoming PM Modi, President Putin said Russia was very happy to see him and the Indian delegation for the summit. Pitching for diplomacy and dialogue yet again, PM once again stated that Bharat has always been in constant touch with Russia on the ongoing conflict with Ukraine. He reiterated peaceful solution to the conflict. He said that Bharat supports the early establishment of peace and stability and it is ready to provide all possible cooperation in the times to come.
मेरे लिए खुशी की बात है कि ब्रिक्स समिट के लिए कजान जैसे खूबसूरत शहर में आने का अवसर मिला है। इस शहर के साथ भारत के गहरे और ऐतिहासिक संबंध रहे हैं। कजान में भारत के नए कॉन्सुलेट के खुलने से ये संबंध और मजबूत होंगे। एक्सेलेंसी, पिछले 3 महीनों में मेरा 2 बार रूस आना हमारे करीबी समन्वय और गहरी मित्रता को दर्शाता है। एक्सेलेंसी, पिछले 1 वर्ष में ब्रिक्स की सफल अध्यक्षता के लिए मैं आपको बधाई देता हूं। 15 वर्षों में ब्रिक्स ने अपनी एक विशेष पहचान बनाई है और अब विश्व के अनेक देश इससे जुड़ना चाहते हैं। एक्सेलेंसी, रूस और यूक्रेन के बीच चल रहे संघर्ष के विषय पर हम लगातार संपर्क में रहे हैं। जैसा मैंने पहले भी कहा है, हमारा मानना है कि समस्याओं का समाधान शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से ही होना चाहिए। शांति और स्थिरता की जल्द से जल्द बहाली का हम पूरी तरह समर्थन करते हैं। हमारे सभी प्रयास मानवता को प्रमुखता देते हैं। आने वाले समय में भी भारत हर संभव सहयोग देने के लिए तैयार है।
In his address at the bilateral with Russia, PM Modi put Bharat's message first up. PM Modi yet again pushed for dialogue on the conflict with Ukraine. His statement highlighted that Bharat believes in peaceful resolutions of conflicts and also emphasized that Bharat is always ready to help bring peace. He also stated that Bharat fully supports early establishment of stability. PM Modi stressed that Bharat's efforts give priority to humanity. And shortly after the bilateral with President Putin, PM Modi posted on platform X, and I quote, "Had an excellent meeting with President Putin. The bond between India and Russia is deep-rooted. Our talks focused on how to add short break here on the right stand. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, is it Aghadi or the Mahayuti? Mahavikas Aghadi or the Mahayuti? Who's got the edge in Maha? Who's agreed on the seats? Stay with us.